Welcome to TacosandGeeks.com. Justin here, back with more video game reviews, and today we are going to be reviewing Top Spin 2K25. Tennis players, we have a new tennis game. Finally, as always, I give you a brief synopsis, so without further ado, here we go. Travel the world as an upcoming pro and go toe-to-toe with the biggest names in tennis and take center court at Wimbledon, Roland-Garros, the US Open, and the Australian Open as you strive to become a Grand Slam champion in MyCAREER. Visit some iconic locations such as Arthur Ashe Stadium and play as rising tennis stars and pro star legends such as Serena Williams. And this is the overview of the game. You have various options here. You have My Player, Center Court Pass, Pro Shop, where you get to purchase some of the cosmetics and upgrades, My Career, Exhibition, and Top Spin Academy, which helps you learn the basics, which is pretty much your tutorial. And that is all this game offers you in terms of modes. And of course, you have online mode, which I'll get into a little bit later. But you have 25 in total of pro plays that you can choose from. As you can see here, you can choose the legendary Serena Williams, you can choose Francis, you can choose Naomi, who's one of the rising stars. So they have a nice balance of fresh faces and legends from the past of tennis greats. So 25, I say that's pretty decent number here. So you have from various regions, various parts of the world. It's not just limited to US players. You have a whole bunch of people to choose from. And as far as arenas goes, you have this a lot of arenas to choose from. Since I'm a Queens boy, I am going to show you Arthur Ashe Stadium, but this is things that you unlock as you progress through the game. So I'm gonna go to Arthur Ashe Stadium and go there because I am a Queens boy. So let's really get into it. Let's talk about gameplay and let's talk about those graphics. And first off, I absolutely love the presentation in this, the pan shots of when you go into your stadium. They do a really good, nice, hard camera shots of the crowd. Graphically wise, I would say the player models look good. They're not as great as you would say WWE 2K or NBA 2K. But for this particular game, it's serviceable. I think Serena, I think Naomi looked really, really good. I thought they did a good job capturing text. It's could have been a little bit better, a little bit more pushing that hardware here. But we're not really here for the actual presentation of how they look in the face. Long as it's accurate enough, I think a lot of us just want to see how this game plays. How does the game feel? Does it feel authentic? Or am I getting and investing in a real tennis experience? Yes and no. And I'm gonna say why a little bit more. The gameplay does good enough. I had fun playing it. What there are some frustrations in this. First thing I have to say is that when I talk about sound, when I get to it, the sound quality is really good. I like the way the game looks displayed. It captures the stadiums very well when it comes to the graphics. It runs very, very smoothly. I had no lagging issues whatsoever. But I will say this when it comes to the mechanics. Of course, you have various your buttons. I play this on the PlayStation 5, so my triangles, circles, square, X, they all do a different style of hit. You use your left analog stick to do the directions. The problem sometimes with the gameplay, and this is one of my biggest annoyances, is that when I'm moving towards a ball, the response time sometimes is not that great. Like I could be moving towards the ball and I press the button to hit and she won't hit. Or sometimes they won't hit at all. They just stop in the middle of pursuing the ball. I'm not sure, maybe because the ball's going too fast and they just give up. But it would be nice to, when I'm controlling, that they stop. But I'm going to talk a little bit about My Player because this is where you're going to be going to the meat of the game. And this is where the game truthfully is heavy. And because everything pretty much runs around My Player. Like this is where you're going to spend most of your time. You can only play exhibition for so long. Now, if I'm going to do a comparison to My Career, to WWE 2K and NBA 2K, this game is My Player Light. The customization, while decent, is serviceable enough, but you're not going to get that real deep customization that you will get in NBA or WWE. So if you're expecting to create such a real detailed character, you're going to be a little disappointed because you really are just going to have to use preset heads, preset faces, and kind of customize around that to the best of your ability. Hair is not even that much choices compared to other 2K games. Like, they really kind of just gave you the back burner, just like, hey, we're gonna just give you guys a tennis game. We got the license to it, so here's your tennis game. I will say it's not lazy, but it's definitely lacking effort and very disappointing for those who are really tennis fans. And this might be the only sports game they buy because they don't play 2K or WWE. They don't play NBA or WWE. So from a my play standpoint, from the curation standpoint, I'm giving it a C. It wasn't really as detailed. Yes, you can change a little bit of the faces. You can go into the eyebrows. Yes, you can change the way things are manipulated a little bit, but it's not as detailed as other 2K offerings when it comes to customization. Like I said, you have very limited on beards or limited on hairstyles. So it's a very limited my player. You're actually going to see it very much soon, even in the my player mode, how limited it is. One thing I did like though is that you do get to choose your grunts. And as you progress through the game, of course, you can use your VC points to pick up new outfits, new clothes, new racks, and things of that nature. You can change your pre-match styles and things like that. They do offer those things out there because you gotta get those VC points somehow. So they do offer that, which is pretty much standard MyCAREER things in this game. They also offer you to shout out to them for people who have prosthetic legs or prosthetic foots. You have those options in here. So they do a good job to make it a more inclusive for players in here. But here is where things get a little bit disappointing. This is pretty much your mode right here. You have 3 options that you have to do most of the time: training, special events, and tournaments. That's it. Training is obviously you're homing your skills with your player. That's how you get more points. Each mode, or each section, I should say, gives you points, gives you VC to upgrade your player and things of that nature. But training is when you complete your training for each month and you earn XP to level up your my player. In the training, especially with the gameplay, it gets hard. It gets challenging. Special events is when you do special things for your player, but this is what the training is here, where you're basically working on particular shots that they set for you. So for this one, I have to do I have to press X and make sure that I hit a certain target and hit the green. If I don't press X when it's on the green, I'm going to fail. So as you can see, since my player in the beginning absolutely sucks, it's going to be much harder to time everything. And not to mention, sometimes, like I said, the problem with the game sometimes is the buttons is not responsive. And then you have special events here where they give you certain challenges that you must complete in the special events. And this will also help you get your player to a certain level and hone your skills. And that's all good and gravy, but it would have been nice, like I said, to have a little bit more features in this. All 2K games so far, even hell, the WWE MyCAREER mode has a social media section where you have fictional people or actual people making commentary on your game. You don't get none of that here. You also have the tournament mode here where you get to take a look at your opponents and things of that nature. It's a very disappointing my player. Now, as far as online goes, online, I see myself playing this a little bit more online once I build my player, because I'll be able to face other people's my player online through a world tour or through a tournament. And that's where I think a lot of the players who play this game are going to spend their most time, is online, using their my players to face other players here. And now, as far as the frame rate goes on the online, as you can, if you could look on the top right corner, it says you have very bad connection. Even with my connection, because my internet was acting up during this time of the recording the footage, even with my bad connection, I did not lag once. I did not stutter once. I had a very smooth going into this, and I will have to give credit to that. I will have to definitely say I had no problems finding players. I had no problem with frame rate issues. I had no problems online whatsoever. So let's talk a little bit about the music and sound of the game. Here's a sample.
Well, as many already know, the TS250s are the lowest category of tournaments, which means lower ranked players are able to enter the draw, but there's not a lot of ranking points at stake.
This is where many of the sport's future stars get their start, and we get to find who will sink and who will swim. One added bonus is the venues themselves, smaller, much more personable.
I can honestly agree with the last statement. The TS250s will really transport you and relax you much more than most of those larger events.
For new players, this is the perfect learning environment. It's also great for experienced players to kind of get away from it all. I really enjoy the TS250s.
The sound does its job. I mean, there's nothing, I will say, I'm still waiting for a tennis game that's going to give us full blown commentary like how it is on the TV, but we still don't have that. We're just getting the experience of like how it would be if we were actually in the arena. And truthfully, there's nothing wrong with that. You do get the PA system telling you what's going on, but it would be nice for once to finally get someone to commentate the actions on what, or give us a play-by-play, I should say, on what's going on. I think it will make the game that much more immersive, but unfortunately, we're still not getting that. The music, as far as music goes, the music really only happens during the main menus. There's some really good tracks in there, but nothing really to scream about. It does its job of fitting the tone of this. So I'm going to give my final thoughts and final grade on this. Honestly, Top Spin 2K25, it's serviceable, but average at best. I mean, it is the best tennis game we got in a very, very long time, and that's not saying much. Unfortunately, the My Play is very disappointing, lacks a lot of features that you get in other offerings from such as WWE 2K and NBA 2K. It doesn't offer much there. The gameplay, while solid, does have its issues. It's very frustrating, and I can't recommend this at a full price of $70. This is definitely a wait for sale, and I'm giving it a C+ at best. It's a fun game, something that if you have friends that love tennis and you all gonna play and y'all all build your players up, that's where you're gonna get most of your enjoyment from it. But otherwise than that, this is a wait from sale. For me, this is Justin for tacosandgeeks.com saying later days. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and I'll catch you on the next review. Thank you very much, and thank you for visiting tacosandgeeks.com. Peace.